Welcome back to Midcap Radar. Well, we have a very interesting conversation and an important conversation lined up. Gajendra Singh, member of PNGRB, joins us now. Thank you so much, sir, first of all, for joining us. First up, we want to start off this particular discussion or conversation with you, asking you about what are the key focus areas for PNGRB as far as 2025 is concerned. There's been a lot of news flow, and we'll get to that, but could you elaborate or focus on what exactly are the key focus areas for PNGRB in 2025?
Particularly for PNGRB, we are focusing on the infrastructure, whether it is the oil and gas infrastructure, that how it can be strengthened. So first we are focusing towards to create a LPG grid. Currently, if you see all across country, there are 210 bottling plant, but currently the bottling plant connected is 54, which is 25%. So we are putting a new pipeline like Kandla to Gorakhpur. New pipeline is coming, which is connecting another 30. So that will take to the 84 bottling plant. But to cover all other bottling plants, so that road transport should be minimized and road accidents should be minimized. So we are saying the bulk carrier, primary transportation, particularly from refineries to the bottling plant, that should be through pipeline. So we have come out with a 9 LPG pipeline, almost 3,500 kilometers, which is going to create a grid among the LPG pipeline, like we are having a national gas grid. So any point of time, if any eventuality is there, so grid will be there. So this supply will get continuous uninterrupted supply and safe supply will be there. That is our first focus area. Secondly, we are focusing towards the ATF pipeline because we are seeing the international air traffic is now increasing. So earlier the pipeline, the airport, particularly domestic airport or the international airport, are connected through one pipeline or maybe through tankers are being supplied. But now we are putting two pipelines to each international airport. So we have worked out and we are coming out with 5 new pipelines, and we are focus is that we connect more and more airports so that we can have at any point of time safe supply. And those pipelines, what we are creating, that will be based on the open access basis. So there will be a competition among the suppliers, and there will be the safe and continuous supply will be there. Right. Third point is we are building we are going ahead with a process have started how to do the open access, particularly in the CGD. So there also we are seeing that there are the number of CGDs who are now have completed their exclusivity period. So now we are seeing how it can be open up so that the consumers will get the other alternate supplier to them. So there should not be any monopoly. Because once we authorized some particular GA, initially for the period of 7-8 years, we provide them, okay, you will only use the infrastructure. But at later stage, we have to open it. And now we are opening up so that the industrial and commercial customer, they will have the choices of supplier to their end. Same way we are putting a product pipeline also. We are seeing that wherever it is possible, for every time laying a pipeline, new pipeline, one pipeline is there, parallelly another pipeline is there. We are entering into that also, the product pipeline, how we can create a network of those product pipeline so that criss-cross movement of the product should not be there. Because if the refinery is north, the product is going in south, and south the refinery, it is going in different direction, east, west, similar way. So we are creating that way. So, but the consensus is being built and the process will start. And the last point is the regas terminal, LNG regas terminal. There also we are seeing how we can register them so that whenever any LNG terminals comes, LNG regas terminal comes, so they should have the provision of timely evacuation of the gas. So by putting an infrastructure up to those regas terminals, we need to have that those entities are registered with the PNGRB so that we can take a infrastructure, whatever the need for evacuation of the gas pipe, that can be constructed. So there are the number of other areas also there where we are working. So there are the number of things how we can strengthen oil and gas sector. Please.
Mr. Singh, good afternoon. Thank you for joining in. But you spoke of the LNG regas terminals. That was the question I wanted to ask you. You recently put out a note about saying that the company like Petronet LNG made a lot of profits on these LNG regasification tariffs. What is the reasoning that you want to bring these LNG terminals under the purview of the PNGRB? If you could explain the rationale behind such a statement.
Yeah, you're right. If you see that particularly the paper what you are referring, it was a case study, and it was a research paper. We keep on doing in the PNGRB. There's a different group. They keep on putting this thing. So perhaps it was taken as a PNGRB order. It is not like an approved document by the PNGRB board. It is a study. So that we can, and even in that study, it is written that the objective is to start the discussions how it can be developed. Because number of LNG regas terminals are coming, and there is the requirement of the pipeline infrastructure to evacuate the volume from those places. So how it can be developed so that we can have the orderly development all across this regas terminal. As far as PLL, you have referred to that, we all are witnessing the good financial and physical performance of PLL in last many years. And the reason behind them, their fundamentals are very strong. Number one, they have the strategic location. Their terminal is at very strategic location. Secondly, they have the first mover advantage. Thirdly, they have the upstream and downstream. They have the they have the agreement in place. It's not that they are working on like polling mode. So they have the firm contract with them. They have the strong promoters in their board, and their board is very strong. So the way
Right.
they are working and the way they are expanding, that's good. But only there are the few areas where they need to rethink.
Understood that, sir.
Like what we are seeing that their boil off, the boil off they charge is 0.66. Whereas the international factory is, if you see, it is not to that, it's a very huge volume. Secondly, if you see the escalation every year, 5 years, which we see that there are something, they can look into that and they can rethink it. It is their, what we call that, their decision. But what we are seeing, registration of these entities are needed so that the required development pipeline infrastructure can be placed. And particularly in PLL case, if you see currently, if you see their regas charges, it is around 76 cents. But worldwide, globally, if you see, the utilization of the regas terminal is normally 50 to 55%, and the charges are also within 45 to 50 rupees. 45 to 50 cents. So this
Right.
paper is only giving the points that okay, there are somewhere globally something is there. Here, this is there. How we can ultimately, this is one of the component which is adding to the consumer cost. So how we can think of that, how it can be minimized. Perhaps they may be dealing because the current agreement, what they are in place, it is right up to 2028.
Right. Mr. Singh, I just have to interrupt you. You also have another important question. You've explained to us, what is it exactly that the PNGRB thinks as far as Petronet LNG and the regas tariff are concerned. But we also want to ask you on a more pressing need, especially as far as the entire city gas distribution space is concerned. There has been a bit of a policy U-turn as far as APM gas allocation is concerned. It's been cut significantly. In the last week, there has been some diversion as far as some gas from GAIL is concerned. Number one, could you give us what exactly are you thinking of city gas distributions are concerned? Will you look at going ahead and revoking some of the sharp or steep cuts as far as the APM gas is concerned? And number two, you also mentioned about open access policy coming soon for the CGD space. If you could talk on that as well.
Like if you see the CGD sector particularly, everybody knows that the APM gas, what is being produced, it is from the Mumbai High. Earlier occasion also I did mention that. And this, particularly this field, Mumbai High, is producing since 1986-87 onward. And this is now in a decline phase. This APM gas and CGD, if you see the CGD business is now growing all across country. Now we have 307 GA. Earlier, it was limited to only to the 34 GAs. Now it has gone to 307 GAs. Now we see that now it is expanding, and the volume, as far as APM volume is there, that is declining. So now everybody knows this thing. It's not that something U-turn is there. Whatever the volume is there, available APM volume, which is coming from the Mumbai High, in the name of APM, it is being given to the CGD entity as a priority sector. I don't think government has made any change into that thing that it should not go to the CGD. It is going to the volume, but the volume requirement is now increasing. Currently, they are consuming almost 42 mmCMD of gas per day. And this, if you see the APM volume, it is only now amounting to 13 mmCMD. In 13 mmCMD, and rest of the thing is, it is now RLNG. So RLNG is already going into that. So I don't see any U-turn from the government side or from any negative thing from the regulator side. We are all for that. Only thing what we are saying in open access also is we are not saying we are doing immediately, because when we authorize the GA for the infrastructure to create infrastructure and making that infrastructure for self-use for 8 years. Subsequently, they have to open it, and that too is limited to only 20% of their total capacity, pipeline capacity. So we are saying that industrial and commercial customers who are there in that particular GA, they will have the other option. They should have, the consumers should have the choice. It should not have that, particularly in RLNG, you are selling it at one particular price. Okay, I will take this much of price. But if they have the other option, cheaper option, why the consumer should not have opt that? So it is in the
Absolutely,
best interest of the industry, not for any U-turn on anything.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us clarity and the way ahead as far as PNGRB's policies for the oil and gas sector is concerned. Thank you once again.